Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Rose to Row and Astrology. My name is Mel Rose, and today is Wednesday, August 28, 2024. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for tuning in to catch up with your current astrology, and thanks for spending this time with me. I really love it that you all tune in to be here with me. I hope you're all feeling happy and well and whole and held. I am feeling very blessed and grateful today, reporting to you from beautiful Bethesda, Maryland, and I'll talk a little bit about that at the end of the video. But for now, I just want to say thanks for being here. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like the video, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. And before we get started on today's astrology, I want to remind you that coming up on Saturday, September 7th, I'm giving an online class through Nadia Shah's Synchronicity University. And that's a class about knowing your natal moon placement, or where the moon is in your chart, and paying attention to the current moon phases and using that information to navigate comfort in your home and in your personal life and your personal relationships. So please join me for that, Saturday, September 7th. There are only 3 days left to get that class for $5, okay? So you can get that class from me. It's a 90-minute class for $5, but you've got 3 days left to sign up for that, or the price will go up, okay? So join me for that. I look forward to seeing you there on Saturday, September 7th for my class through Nadia Shah's Synchronicity University. And as far as today's astrology goes, I'm going to start with the sun. The sun is in Virgo, and it just went into Virgo last week, so we're really starting to feel these Virgo vibes. This is the time of year when we're going back to school, when we're coming back from vacation, and sort of settling back into our routines. Virgo is very much about the routine. It's an earth sign, but it's ruled by Mercury, so it's an earth sign that moves around, right? It's materialistic, but it is in motion. It accelerates the pace of things, and it really just gives us this desire to learn and to dedicate ourselves to the details, and to sort of get into the details to get into the work that we have ahead of us for the coming several months. And this is the time of year when we're slipping out of summer and into fall. So, for example, it's going to be very, very hot here today in Bethesda, but then tomorrow and the next several days, it's going to cool off. We're going to get that little back and forth between summer and fall right now, and so you might want to be sorting through your wardrobe as well. That's the Virgo vibe, right? Pull out those sweaters, start putting away some of the skimpier summer clothes, because the weather is about to cool off. And with the sun in Virgo, the moon today moves into Cancer. And I love Virgo and Cancer together because they're both healing vibes. They're both caring vibes. Virgo cares very much about the details and about the materials, and it cares about healing and solving problems, okay? And Cancer, the moon in Cancer is right at home, and it brings us home. It makes us want to be at home. It makes us want to be, comfortable in our comfort zones and among the people that we keep close. And, Cancer is a very caring sign. We want to give care to ourselves, especially at home, and the people that we keep close. So it's a great time to be just looking at your own well-being and seeing what you can do to take care of yourself. Look at your home, see what you can do to make that place more cozy and comfortable for yourself. And, also attend to those relationships that you keep close as well, to make sure that everybody's getting the care that they need. The moon is a waning crescent today, so we are past the waning half moon now, and we are releasing, we're letting go, and we're starting to take it easy a little bit, okay? We had the full moon about a week and a half ago. And that's the time of culmination. It's like when we have the party, and after we have the party, we start to tidy up, we start to clean up, we start to think about what we no longer need. And then after we get to that waning half moon, now in the crescent phase, we just start to release. We're pushing things out the door, we're expressing ourselves, and we are relaxing a little bit as we move toward that new moon, which comes up on Monday, which is our time to really mellow out and reset. Okay, so whatever it is that you've got hanging out by the door that needs to go, whatever it is that you've been intending to sort through and maybe disperse into the world, now's the time to be doing that. Yesterday, Venus, well, I want to talk about Mercury first, okay? Because it goes Sun, Moon, Mercury. Mercury is going direct today. So the 3 weeks of Mercury retrograde madness are over as of this afternoon around 2:14. That will be Pacific time, 4:14 Central Standard Time. So check your time zone and adjust for your time zone. But Mercury goes direct at that time this afternoon. And I just want to say that I didn't find this Mercury retrograde terrible. The normal Mercury retrogrades, the normal Mercury retrograde stuff was going on. And, I did feel a need to sort of check and recheck and sort through my plans before I went after them. But by and large, I didn't find it very bad. I hope that if you struggled with this Mercury retrograde, or maybe if you had a great time with this Mercury retrograde, you will leave a comment down below and let us know how it's been going for you. Mercury retrograde for me this time was a lot about, it was a lot about finding out things that I thought were one way, but now they are another, right? They turn out to be another. And that's been really positive for me overall, but it's been a time of sort of surprises and revelations. And so I'm grateful for the clarity that it has brought. So Mercury goes direct today. It will still be in its shadow, its retrograde shadow, for a couple of weeks. So you might still experience some Mercury retrograde stuff, or still double check your plane tickets and still, make sure you know what time it is. Be on task, dot your I's, cross your T's. Make sure you have all the information you need before you act on a plan. Sun in Virgo is going to ask you to do that anyway, and Mercury will be back in Virgo again very soon. So where Mercury is right at home. So, that is the vibe, sorting things out, making sure you know the details before you act, before you get into your routine, and so go with that. If you're feeling it, please go with it. Now, Venus is active this week. It's very active, and Venus is that part of ourselves that likes, loves, and can't get enough, right? It is honey. It's sweet. It attracts. Okay, it draws in what it wants. It doesn't go out after it, unless you're a Venus in Aries like I am. But most of the time, Venus just draws toward it what we want. Okay. And yesterday, Venus had a trine with Uranus. Very optimistic but surprising kind of vibration. The unexpected. It's almost like expect the unexpected, but in a good way, and in a hopefully really delightful way. Things, when you have a trine, things just sort of happen. They give you grace. They just allow you to move forward or to receive what it is that you want, without having to try very hard. However, Uranus does have that surprise factor. It's just the change bringer. And so, sometimes we get a surprise and at first we think, oh, this is terrible. We think that it's a negative thing. And I'm asking you to try to see the positive in whatever changes that you have seen this week, because having a positive, optimistic attitude is at least half of having a positive, optimistic outcome. And with that trine vibe, it's really easy to get a positive, optimistic outcome. So go for it. And then today, Venus is making an opposition to Neptune. Now, Venus and Neptune are kind of like the lower and higher vibrations of one another. And this is, again, a very receptive vibe. It's a very open vibe. And the thing about Neptune is that it can make things a little cloudy. It can make things a little bit hard to, unclear. Okay, it can make it hard to see exactly what is going on. So Venus in opposition to Neptune, it might be like, I think I'm pulling in this thing that I want. I think that this is what I want, but there's that tension of opposites. So it might feel a little bit uncertain for you, and it might feel like the future is a little bit uncertain, like we just don't know what is going to happen, or we don't really know what's coming down the pike. So keep your eyes open and don't don't agree to things if you don't know all the details. I know I've been saying that a lot lately, but it's really the vibe in the sky right now. Don't agree to things if you don't understand the details. Ask all the questions. Don't be afraid to ask, okay? Make sure you know exactly what is going to happen before you make the agreement, before you take action on the thing that you mean to take action on, okay? And then tomorrow, Venus is going to move on into Libra, where Venus is right at home. So the Venusian vibe in Libra is all about truth and fairness and balance. It's also about beauty and elegance. This is the best time to get your hair cut. Venus in Libra is the best time to get your hair cut, or any other cosmetic changes that you want to make. This is a good vibration for making those cosmetic changes. If you're gonna, update your wardrobe or change the way you do your makeup or your hair, Venus in Libra is a great time to do that, because you can make that upgrade with Venus sort of on the side of beauty and very clear about what it is, how you want to look and how you want to feel as you look that way. And then tomorrow, Venus makes another trine to Pluto. So that is a strange and wonderful vibe. Pluto is sort of about the things that are unseen. It's about what you really don't know. It's in the subconscious, and the things that are in the subconscious are there for a reason. However, there is an element here of discovery, of things coming to light in a really positive way, in a really easy way. It's not like you had to dig for this information or had to dig for this transformation to come about, but you might see the way things are changing for you tomorrow and this week, and you might you might feel pretty positive about that. And if you don't feel positive about it, understand that it is a trine vibration. It's meant to be positive. So again, try to look on the bright side, try to see the positive in the changes that are coming down the pike. Because listen, if you resist change, if change is coming your way and you resist it, you say, no. The truth of the matter is you don't get to avoid changing, all right? Change is the only constant. And so even if you don't necessarily understand what is happening, and I'm not saying, you should just go into things blindly, but if you don't necessarily completely understand what is happening, allow the grace of that trine vibration to help it be a positive thing for you. And then coming up, let's see, on Sunday is the day that Mercury goes retrograde. Not Mercury, my mistake. Uranus goes retrograde, and Uranus will be retrograde for a few months. And that's just, the surprises, the discoveries. Discovery is a great word for Uranus. The discoveries and the sort of surprising developments, especially scientific developments, they tend to apply less to the outer world and more to the inner world. Now, Uranus is a collective planet, so it's still happening for all of us, right? But these are the changes that you're going to notice sort of on the inside. You're going to start to see and maybe surprise yourself with the things that start to work differently for you. This used to work for me this way, but now it no longer does, and I'm going to start doing it a different way, right? So Uranus retrograde will be there for a few months. It's not a very in-your-face kind of vibration. Uranus is one of those far-out planets, far-out dude, right? But Uranus is one of those far-out planets, and that means that, the vibration that it brings us is a little more subtle. You might not really notice it all of the time, but that retrograde just means this is a time for review and reflection, when things surprise us or when things come up or when we go through personal internal changes. We might be surprised. We will hopefully be delighted. Uranus does bring, often some upgrades as well. Understand that that's what's happening when the planets are stationing to go retrograde or direct. That means they're holding still in the sky from our perspective. That's when they draw the most power. So that's when you're likely to have the most surprises come up for you from Uranus retrograde. And that happens on Sunday. And then also on Sunday, Pluto, which has been retrograde for a while now, is going to retrograde back into Capricorn. Final Pluto in retrograde weeks for the next 240 years or so. So Pluto in Capricorn, breaking down old structures, breaking down old ways of doing things, and bringing about, it's sort of like when a big old building falls and you have the rubble there, then you have material to move out of the way, you have a space to work with, and you could also use that material if you want to create something new. Okay, so it's one of those sort of destructive things, but not destructive necessarily in a negative way. As long as you stand back from the things that are coming apart, then you have an opportunity here to sort of recreate the way that you're transforming, recreate the way that you're moving forward in this really materialistic way. Capricorn, is very materialistic, and it's very work-oriented. And Pluto in Capricorn is going to have us reviewing a little bit of that work that we were doing a year ago, a couple of years ago, and what we've been doing over the past 20 years in terms of changing institutions and structures that we have been working with for a long time. So, if you look back over the last 30 years, you can see a lot of things that are different, that are no more. Home telephones are very rare right now. When 30 years ago, that was how you had a phone. So that's just one example, but government is changing, institutions are changing, the way we do schooling is changing, and other things like the Me Too movement, the way we interact culturally and materially with one another is changing as well. So that's positive, but we're going to get some review of some old stuff, and that might not be very fun for us, but it'll give us some time to sort of reflect and learn the last of what we want to learn from that Pluto and Capricorn vibe. So that is this week. Coming up on next Monday, we'll have that new moon in Virgo. The sun and moon will be in Virgo together, right next to each other, right on top of each other from our perspective. And that'll give us that nice dark moon, a time to slow down, stop, reset, and shift gears out of letting go and back into creating our lives for ourselves. So that is the astrology for today. I will be back on Friday to discuss the astrology with you again. Thank you so much for joining me. And now I want to talk to you about Bethesda, Maryland. The reason I wasn't here on Monday was because on Sunday, my wife and I flew out here to Bethesda so that she could go to the National Institutes of Health. She has a health condition that is actually very rare, and the doctors there are doing a study and they wanted to include her in it. So that's what we've been doing here. She's been up the road in the hospital getting tests, many vials of blood, many scans, and other kinds of testing to make sure they know everything about her body. And I'm here at the Hyatt Regency in Bethesda. It's been a very nice stay. From my window, I can see the Metro Center down below me, and just a nice, beautiful scene of Bethesda, Maryland downtown. I sure do appreciate it here. I've had some good food and I've met some very kind people. So that's what we're doing here. We're going to leave again on Thursday, so I will be back home when I see you on Friday morning, and I'll be sure to keep you updated on our health and our goings on. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm happy that you could be here today. I'm happy that I could be here today, and I'll see you all in the next video.